Let's take this prototype which says what is the best flavor of ice cream, chocolate or vanilla. So it should work like this. When I click chocolate, chocolate should show up. But right now it's prototyped in a way where when I click chocolate or when I click vanilla, the answer that's going to show up is going to be vanilla. So this is going to be a start of a bigger series on advanced prototyping. And we're going to start with the most simplest of ones. And now the question is, how do I show chocolate here when I click chocolate, and how do I show vanilla here when I click vanilla? So this can be solved by variables if you hadn't thought. It works this way. So Figma introduced this thing called conditional prototyping in their update last year. This would be a good introductory way for you to start using it in your designs. So to start with, instead of prototyping like this, where we use arrows to connect these things together, right now it's in navigation, but instead we need to change it to conditional. So when we open conditional, there is an if and else statement. It's a simple logic basically. If chocolate is clicked, chocolate should show up, and if vanilla is clicked, vanilla should show up. And it should also navigate to the next frame because it's like a next step it's taking, right? So to do that, first we need to make this dynamic, because this text right here needs to adapt according to what is being triggered in the first one. So in order to make it dynamic, we need to make it into a variable. So let's turn this one into a variable now. So how do you do that? You just click on vanilla and just click on this variable thing. There are a few variables that is already here in this file, so those are showing up here, but let's create a new one for this one called flavor. So right now the value of flavor has been set to vanilla and that's been showing there. So I'll just copy this for now. Now that I have created a variable and it has also been defined to this. So flavor as a variable has been attached to vanilla. So now let's go to this one right here and set the triggers in a way that the value of that variable flavor will change when I click on chocolate, and it will also remain the same when I click on vanilla. So now when I go to prototype, already I've set up the conditional right here. We need to write a condition. Let's choose that variable, which is flavor, and is equal to, if the flavor is equal to vanilla, then we need to change it to chocolate. So if it is this, then we need to set the variable, which is flavor, to be equal to chocolate. So because this variable contains a string, we can add string directly to it like this. If it's a number or any other type of variable, then this would not work. This can be read like this. So if the variable flavor is equal to vanilla, then we need to set the flavor of the string inside of flavor into chocolate. And for the else condition, we don't need to write anything, because if it is chocolate, then it does not need to do any action. So we'll just leave it like that. For the next one, we can make it simple enough by just copying this condition and pasting on vanilla. But here we need to change it into if the flavor is vanilla, then we don't need to do anything. But if it is not vanilla, we need to set it to vanilla, because when you click on vanilla, it needs to be vanilla even if in the previous step it has been set as chocolate. There are better ways to do this, because right now I'm going with strings, and if we make a spelling mistake in this one in any point, that will just cause an error, and it's not advised to go this way, but it's very easy to understand, so I'm explaining it like this. If it is vanilla, do nothing, and if it is chocolate, which is like the opposite of it, which if it's not vanilla then is probably chocolate, then we need to set it to vanilla, because that's how it needs to work. These options should be disabled in the next step, because after this answer has been given, we should not allow the user to change that later. So for now, I'll just disable it by just reducing their opacity by pressing maybe 2. Now it looks disabled. So now let's play it and see how it looks. So now it's asking me what is the best flavor of ice cream. When I click on chocolate, nothing happens because the variable is in the next frame, but we are triggering it here. There is nothing that is telling the condition to go from this frame to the other frame. But like if we take this one and bring it here and now play it, now it changes when we click chocolate, when we click vanilla. But that means it works. But now it needs to go to the next frame. How do we do that? So regardless of what the selection is, we need to navigate them from frame number 1 to frame number 2. So that's pretty much done using this plus mark right here. You just press it and then press navigate to number two, the frame number two, and we can animate it, dissolve or whatever. But we have set it like when click, regardless of what condition is above, it will navigate you to the second frame, to this frame. So let me apply the same thing for the vanilla condition as well by adding navigation to the second frame. So now this should work perfectly. Before we play it, I need to remove it from this one. So I've removed it. When I click on chocolate, chocolate shows up. Let me restart it. When I click on vanilla, vanilla shows up. So this is an advanced prototyping method for maybe a quiz or something where you need to test it with audience and it needs to be very interactive, almost exactly to what is going to be shown in the final output. And I was shifting to a new flat, and that's why I did not share any content here. So that's why there is a new background and everything. So more and more content is coming soon.